Alright, welcome to the wonderful world of Waikato Sheds. We are here in Tamaheri, beautiful winter's morning. It's really, really nice. And we're here with Andy, Feature Build. Hey Andy, how's things?
Yeah, good, thanks mate.
So Andy and Feature Build and his crew, they're going to come on and do a few sheds for us, which is always pretty exciting to get a new sort of crew on board. Andy, what do you guys do?
We do mainly renovations and extensions, but we do throw a few new builds in there, custom build homes and stuff like
cool.
that.
So Andy and his crew's first experience with building a steel shed, and they're also going to follow on a couple of our projects and do some office fit outs, some bathrooms and things like that. So that's a cool little thing that we're going to start to do soon as well. The first thing that we want to talk about is a lot of the time when you're starting a build with our builders or even a kit set client, the first thing we want you to do is just have a bit of a look through the kit and just check off a lot of the materials there, the brackets are there, and mainly just a lot of, there's no sort of damage or anything sort of missing. And I want to draw your attention to this thing here called the bill of materials. This is a list of everything that should be sitting on your site right now. So if we come over this way, we'll just have a bit of a look at the kit. At the top of the page, we've got the brackets. Now this is that little pallet here. This is like the really important part of it because basically you need the bracket. The first thing you need is the bracket. So it's really important to have a little look through, count all these brackets off, make sure they're all there, because you don't want to get all ready to start on day one and then realize that you're missing some brackets. So definitely make sure that all your brackets are there basically. The rest of it is it's all stacked up. There's a lot of purlins and stuff here, so it can be quite hard to count it all off, but do your very best. The main thing we want to check for this stuff is that there's no damage really. That's really important. Make sure there's no damage. If the kit gets there on site and it has got damage, let us know really quickly. We'll get in touch with Metalcraft, let them know, and we'll get those bits and pieces replaced ASAP. So yeah, Metalcraft doing a lot of our stuff. They're producing a lot of our steel. Who else we got? We got colour steel, got a few ridge caps and gutters over there. Those can also get damaged quite easily, so just make sure that stuff's not damaged. Also find in here is some wall wraps and some roof wraps. So that's from Thermakraft, Kingspan. Make sure that's there, make sure you got the right quantities. And also Konnect supply a lot of our fastenings and bolts. So you want to just check through those bits and pieces and make sure those are all there, you got the right colours and all that sort of stuff. All right, another little important tip is when you're building, it's going to take you a little while to build away at this thing. So what you can do is you can put the things that you're not going to need straight away, your ridge caps, your gutters, that type of thing, you can put it off to the side and then try and organise your site in a way that where you're going to be using the stuff at the front, the first, and then you're going to be working your way back. That way you're not stepping over sheets and ridge caps and things, and which increases your chance of damaging it. So as always, if you've got any trouble, if you find yourself missing some parts or some damaged stuff, get in touch with us. We're happy to help out and work in with you to get your product. It's time now to throw over to Mark. Mark, how's things?
Yeah, great, thank you, Shane.
We've organised for Mark to just spend a bit of time here with Andy and Reese and the crew to just go over the basics of the build start. So yeah, Mark, here's the plans. I'll leave it to you.
Let's go. Cool, g'day. So we're gonna start this build today. So the first thing I've done is found the bolt layout plan, and we're gonna measure up for where all the legs are gonna sit, all our portals, and lay that out on the pad. When we've come over this morning, we've noticed that the pad hasn't had its relief cuts by the concreters, A1 concrete, into it, so we just got straight onto the phone to them, and they're sending one of their guys out now to do those cuts and sort that problem out. So just any little problems you come across, let us know straight away and we can sort that out and start working our way through all of that so we can continue the build. So the first thing we're going to do on a new build like this is get out our 30-metre tape and square the build. Just make sure that the pad's really nice and square, and then from there we can start doing our bolt layout. On your bolt layout it has all the dimensions, but on this I know we have here 120mm top hats. So if you want to come in a little closer, I can show you how we're going to start laying this out. On our side walls we're going to be 120mm in for our top hat for our leg to sit on. So if so we're going to mark that on both sides all round, and then get our string line, our chalk line, and ping a line through. So we know then that our legs are going to sit here, and we can then build our legs on the pad build our legs and whole frame on the pad ready to be stood. On the front of it, the legs sit flush with the front of the pad, and we use brackets to put the top hats on the inside, so we'll go through that at a later date. So we'd go through, set all that out, and then I'd start to build up the frames on a job like this. And we build the first frame that's going to stand on the top, so the last frame we're going to stand on the bottom, and we build those on top of each other. As we're building those, we're using our tape to make sure that they're all square as well before we finally tighten them up. And then depending on the size of your shed, you may be able to build your frames and stand them yourselves with the use of a scissor lift or off scaffolding. On a bigger job like this, we'd probably get KT Cartage to come in. They do a lot of the standing of sheds for us, and they'll come in with their high ab truck and be able to lift those into position. And then as we lift one, we brace it with top hats, and then we'll stand our next one and then put the top hats in between and just start to stand our frame. So there's a few other tricks we'll go through and be able to show you. But yeah, just the first thing to do is lay out your bolt where all your pads are going to go, and then start building your frames.
Hey Mark.
Cheers Andy. So we've sort of laid out what we're going to do to get this build started. We're going to work today together and start to lay that all out, and it's going to be exciting. Get a shed up.
Looking forward to it.